sitting here, we got stuck another day in Las Vegas. I mean, life could be worse, really.
That's really, yeah.
And we decided to go out and fly some of the stuff we got in our rooms. Well, people thought we were checking out when we walked out.
Yeah. Big cases, big stuff, ready to go.
And they're like, oh, you're leaving already? I was like, oh, no, we're just going out to play.
Yeah.
We actually got a really good question. I know it's not relevant, but this guy wanted to know if you can find gold using a thermal camera.
Yeah, so it's really just in this case, just somebody inquiring after seeing us hanging out here, which is pretty cool, you know, stopping by and asking a few questions. He actually the first question he asked was a thermal question, which happens to be kind of my thing. So
we were just kind of like, I can't believe you just asked John a thermal question. You walk up to him in the middle of the parking lot.
And don't even know who I am, don't know nothing. Oh, you got a drone sitting on the table, that's great. But let me ask you a question about some thermal stuff.
Since we have a box to open, really quickly, you can't really, but there is a window where the difference in cooling off or heating up may actually make a large piece of metal visible.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends, you know, like I said, we're looking for, there's a lot of thermal delta. When he did inquire about trying to find some minerals, gold, silver dollar, he mentioned that, of sitting out there in the desert heat. He's been here for 40 years, he says, so trying to image anything like that and see enough delta change can be relatively difficult.
The bottom line is, don't buy a $6,000 thermal camera to find a gold coin.
No.
There's faster and cheaper ways to do that.
There are.
Let's crack the next box open. The next box we have here is from Walkera. It's their new Voyager 4. And there has been some Walkeras that really could not fly well.
Yeah, so in my, you know, some of the Walkera, my history of Walkera and working with Walkera,
It's been good and bad.
It's been good and bad. You know, they make some pretty good ships and pretty good stuff. But
so let me preface this one. I've had it since January. It's a prototype, and interestingly, they have made a lot of changes. So it's not really shipping over here, but they have made a lot of rapid changes. So the current model has bigger batteries. It has a new camera, and a lot of things has been changed. So it's this is a prototype from January, but it has flown really well. I suspect it's maybe a Pix-4 or something.
Yeah.
It's a really stable ship.
So probably the last thing I flew was the Voyager 3. So the
Which
Voyager
flew
3
pretty good.
I thought it did. I thought in comparison at the same time that it came out against the Inspire 2,
but
I thought
camera?
the camera type setup, it was kind of a nightmare, but the ship itself was very stable and flew well. I thought
so.
It
What's
well.
unique about this one is we have an 18-time optical zoom.
18 times optical zoom.
4K camera. Now DJI's is a 1080.
Yes,
30 times.
Yes.
But even though this is a 4K, I've noticed at the long end resolution is dropping, and I would not be surprised that it's probably about 1080 with some digital stabilization at the long end.
Gotcha.
So that makes it an 18 1080 versus a 30 1080.
I think it's always a challenge to actually fly anything with a zoom, and here next we'll be taking a look at a couple of other the DJI Z30 option, but at the same time, it's not an easy science to do. People think, oh, just put a zoom camera on there and it'll be easy, but...
Alrighty, well, let's crack this one open and see where we're at.
Alright, sounds good.
I should move my soda, I think, at this point.
Yeah, let's just, I'm going to swing the box up just a little bit, kind of an idea on what we're looking at. So we got batteries, we got camera, we got airframe, we got remote, everything pretty much in there. So typical, like I said, kind of a Walkera setup to have a big hard case like this on some of their nicer
they
stuff.
do like big boxes, don't they?
They do. So the Tally came in one, the Voyager came in one.
I think they managed to get a bigger box yet.
Here we go.
And we're just gonna turn it upside down.
Turn it upside down.
And let's put a battery in it and get it powered. And this is a radio, by the way.
Not a terrible feeling.
No, it's really one of their nicer new radios.
Yeah.
And you know this has got, so we've got a Wi-Fi for the video and we got 2.4 for the control signal.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna power this so we can extract the legs.
Okay. And always never power anything on unless you're actually ready to fly. We don't have props installed right here, so probably not a great idea to do this at all.
And power this on the power button up here. And it comes on and shows our charge down here. Oh, that's embarrassing.
We got one to come up.
And one more.
Well, just takes a second. She wasn't ready.
I get that a lot.
Yep. Wasn't ready.
We're talking about drones.
Oh, yes, we are talking about drones.
So, just real quickly, you have got manual here. Manual, GPS, and then you can go down in flight mode and circle, which is basically look at me. I'm just gonna put it back to GPS. And this one can manage the gimbal.
Move your camera around. Yeah, that's pretty free.
And the home is what you expect it to be.
I'll just do a little.
See, somewhere here, I think I have a Allen wrench. I kind of made my own Allen wrench spot by just pushing it into the. That needs to get seated.
I see. So very similar. We'll just come back into that. So it looks very similar to the top of a an actual Zen-Muse like connection on a DJI. Very similar. Very small pins that you have to be careful and not bend and mess up there. They're pretty teeny. So an alignment ring here, and then as well as some alignment pins once you drop it into the hole. So let's watch Bo kind of put this in, because I've never actually tried to do it, so I don't hurt it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to do this.
No, that's all you.
Great. It's a little hard to actually find the right spot. You kind of like go one way, then you turn it half a way back, because now you know you got the other direction here. So that way you know what's forward. That's kind of what happens when it's a beta thing. They haven't bothered to print on the front of that where it goes.
Prototypes.
Yeah.
Yep, always about the prototype.
A lot of times when it's not a prototype, they actually print the little information on them. And here, supposedly, there's supposed to be a quick lock. So you just stick this in, lock it. A little bit of lock. There you go. It stopped.
So probably just on my end, again, on the industrial side of things, I'm probably not seeing a really fast deployment here of just pulling something out of the box and doing that. And that's kind of...
It definitely needs quick lock here.
A little bit quicker lock, a snap type,
If I had my way, there would be a push button to deploy your legs when you pull it out. But that's just me.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you stopped it again?
Well, I don't know if I stopped it. I don't know what I'm doing, camera stuff. So in a general sense, so far not too bad. I don't know, like I said, if it would fall right into my industrial category of using or getting it quick deployment, setting up.
Let's flip it over, put some props on it. You get a red, I get a red.
No, get a red and a red, and there's a black one for you.
All right, I'm not sure what goes away. This goes the usual directions.
That is definitely not that one.
There, that's one.
So one thing about these, like screw-on props, as far as rotating, self-tightening props, I do have an Inspire that has approximately 1,700 flights on it, and I still use these props.
Just always make sure you tighten them down.
Absolutely.
So that the motor braking don't spin them back off.
That's right.
That was the famous little whoops when the Inspire first started shipping. People forgot to tighten them.
No, like I said, I'm still on the second set of props that I got when it came in the box. So I mean, but you know.
So down here we have the camera, 18 times zoom. Micro SD goes up here, and we're about ready to play.
All right, let's go take this one for a flight. Okay, so we're ready to take the new Voyager up in the air. We've got the, what did we say this was on the optical zoom? What did we say?
18.
It's a 18 optical zoom. So we're going to test that real quick, see how she functions, see how she flies. We'll just do a quick flight test and get her up in the air. So with any bird, when I take it up, this is the first time I've ever flown this Walkera, so I always just do a good hard function test. I do check flight controls, make sure it's running solid, moving solid, kind of pull it into a figure 8 movement. So we do that forward and backwards. I'll pull it back and pull it away. And I just like to see how well the rudder turn is moving around, as well as the backwards, forwards, and movement. So I can get a feel for the actual bird and feel how stable she is in the air as she's moving. But I don't really care about speed runs or anything like that. That's not what we're trying to figure out. We're just trying to figure out if it's a really good, just solid platform and GPS and flying around. I'm going to do a fly out off to the left. Not a really super speed demon in this GPS mode, which is good, because it doesn't need to be. A little slower on the rudder than I expect it to be, but that's okay on the yaw movement. Doesn't need to spin incredibly fast. So let's bring it in for a landing.
That's good before I stick it.
Yeah, that's
Good call. And I just upped my head right next to this thing here without having turned it off yet. Good, thanks, John.
You're welcome. Safety first, man. Safety first.
Weren't you supposed to turn it off when you picked it up after we landed?
You picked it up. I didn't pick it up.
I
You
did pick
carried
it up,
over.
didn't I?
Yeah, you picked it up. Yeah. I didn't say anything, but you know, I probably should have.
So, I've been flying like I said, since January, and one of the things that impresses me with it is how un-Walkera it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's really together very slick.
Mm-hmm.
Or very, I wouldn't call it slick, but it's very predictable.
Sure. Well, like I said, my experience with Walkera over the many years of flying Walkera has been, for the most part, pretty good. There's some other parts that end up being kind of difficult, some of the changes and releases and things that happen, but as far as flying this machine specifically for me, very solid. Didn't see any bad habits on losing any video feed, even though again on this we're not hard-lined to the radio at all like some of the other stuff. We're actually Wi-Fi connected, and that Wi-Fi connection plus the connection to the bird, I wasn't watching or seeing very much on the dropouts as I was flying it around, so it seemed fairly solid. As far as this machine maneuverability in the video as you had watched, I did mention a little bit about the yaw turning a little bit slower, but it is in full-on GPS as I was flying it, so that's kind of what was happening there.
Now, one thing I do keep finding is that when I yaw, it's not as fast as a lot of birds I'm used to. It yaws, but it is a prototype, so that's definitely something that could be tuned. But even as it is, it's smooth and easy going, so it's probably
very
good
smooth.
for video.
Yeah, very smooth. I mean, this thing it doesn't burn up the sky. I can just tell you that right now. It's a very slow and easy running. So yeah.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
Hey, I have a drone. I brought it out here. I just checking you guys' setup out. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, you guys can. Yeah, we just had another guy that just recently left. That was flying his Mavic around.
Oh yeah, I have Mavic with me too.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't want to get something huge to start with. And
Good call.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
How much would this one run you? That's crazy.
About 35.
35.
Mm-hmm.
Walkera, I've heard of those too. That's cool. So this is where you guys usually fly at? Is over
No, we're not from here.
Oh, you're not from here?
No, this is Bo Lorenzen. He does a lot of reviews and stuff.
How's
In
it
fact,
going,
we're
sir?
doing some filming right now. So you're on film.
Oh, fantastic. I did not know you guys were. I'm not used to this kind of thing.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
I've heard of you, sir, and
You probably heard of him. That's
I'm just
John McBride.
Yeah.
No,
Awesome.
we had an extra day after the drone show at the Rio, and figured we'll take some of the brand new products out here, test fly them, and comment on how they fly.
This just happened to be a good space, so we figured we'd just do some testing and test flying and see how it
the
feels.
shade. That's a key thing.
Yeah.
Key feature in Las Vegas.
Well, stay safe. The storm's coming.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Good call. Thank you. You have a great day.
You too.
And that's kind of what happens when we're out there just kind of hanging out in public space. Everybody just wants to come up and talk and see what the drone is all about and what we're doing and how we're doing it, which is kind of a cool thing when you're just, it's probably the fourth inquiry. We haven't been here for very long, and it seemed like a kind of an out-of-the-way space.
There's nothing like a big drone to make new friends fast.
That's right. Everyone was like, ooh, that's really cool. So, anyway, at the end of this video, I think by the time we kind of wrap up with this, I was pretty impressed on how it worked. The optical, I didn't really run the camera too much, but it did have some great imagery coming through. I didn't have any issues with that. And
the video coming through the gimbal is incredibly stable.
Sure.
Actually, it surprised me because I didn't think Walkera was ready to make an 18x zoom. Mm-hmm. It turns out they are.
Yeah. So not a bad ship at all. I was actually, nice little easy flyer.
And we just flew, of course, a $35,000 aircraft.
Yep.
And that was a very good aircraft.
Yep.
Now we're looking at $3,500.
Yep.
So for the money, I'm not unhappy with this.
Yeah. And like I said, as far as flight characteristics on how I might kind of get a little aggressive with it, certainly felt pretty good to me. So
It's sticking there.
Okay.
Last words?
No, just it's a good little bird. Yeah.
Well, we have one question, of course, since you deal with utilities, municipalities. Mm-hmm. Yes, no.
I don't think this is a bad choice for that space. The optical zoom, of course, is pretty fantastic. As far as innovation in a company, Walkera does kick out some stuff fairly rapidly. I mean, if anybody really does pay attention to Walkera, they actually release things, I think, a little bit faster than even DJI does, just throughout all of their various models, of different types of different kinds.
I would personally be perfectly happy with a slower release schedule.
Yeah.
And more beta testing.
Absolutely.
Before releasing.
Any company would really, be great with that.
But they have changed. Now we have the long-range radio up here.
Yeah.
I have had this out to about a mile, rock solid.
No problem. Yeah.
No problem.
Awesome. Well, I think she would probably be okay in the public service space as well as inspection, doing some things like that if this is a brand that you want to get into.
Well, the long zoom lens really makes it for 3500, makes it fairly disposable compared to other platforms.
Yeah.
Something to go out, do line inspection,
Yep.
stuff kind of thing. Roof inspections maybe.
Yeah.
I've never done a roof inspection.
Now, I've done a few roof inspections, but I usually just do roof inspections at my own shop, just for testing and testing and testing. So it's the same boring thing.
Seen that roof before?
Yes.
So there you have it, guys. We're making more videos. Make sure you click in the corner, subscribe, and also copy paste these videos and put them up on Facebook and wherever else you go. Copy paste the link to this video. And thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.